Good morning, good morning, good morning, y'all. How is it going today? Coffee ready, Monday morning show. Uh, Sorry about this weekend, y'all. Maybe it was not a great idea to do a podcast on New Year's Eve. Unfortunately, it kind of sucks because luckily now I have all the kinks worked out and everything, like for real this time, but my software either did not record the second half of Natalie's podcast or it saved it somewhere else on my computer. So I'm going to be looking for that today. Uh, I will have part one uploaded as well today. As those of you who have known me for a while, as of yesterday, I decided to quit nicotine cold turkey. Yes, 21-year user of nicotine here since I was 14, about to be 35. What made me want to quit? What actually made me want to quit this time was money. At this point, there's no purpose the nicotine is serving me anymore. It's a pointless habit. It always has been. I dug it. I liked it because it would help me wake up in the morning and it would help me keep my appetite in check. Because even though you all know that I lift and take care of myself now, there's still the inner fat kid that once was in here. So, but honestly, it's day two. I don't feel so bad. I don't. I thought it was gonna feel way worse than this. Yesterday was probably the worst, and it still wasn't even that bad. I think this time around it's because I actually want to quit. I actually am ready to quit this time. The last attempt I made was around spring of this year. Yeah, that was the last attempt I had made, and it was rough. It was rough. I think also too as we get older, our body chemistry changes, and things that might have been harsh, from a compound standpoint, or rough from a standpoint when you're younger, might not be as rough as when you get older. I can't believe how easy this is. From somebody who's been a 21-year nicotine user, how easy. I mean, I started off with cigarettes. I started smoking cigarettes when I was 14, and smoked cigarettes all the way up until I was about like 2021, and then I moved to the snooze pouches and the skull pouches and all that shit, and then eventually over time I found the Zen nicotine pouches, which I dubbed the vaping of chew. So it is. It's just food grade nicotine in a pouch. It's pretty much like a vape, but in pouch form. And now I'm done. So and honestly, like I said, I don't know what I was afraid of all those years. I don't know. It's weird. Now it's like I just have the power, I guess. So a couple things I want to bring up. Just been communicating with Ben Davidson over the weekend and this morning. It is still happening, you guys. This is going to be amazing. I can't believe it. If there's somebody that I have probably the most world of respect for at this point in time in my life, it is Mr. Ben Davidson. He is a master of his craft. He uses insurmountable amounts of evidence to back up all of his claims. He has even gone bat to bat, like I said, with NASA scientists and climate scientists and has won. He has a different explanation for why climate change is occurring, and I believe his explanation because of the insurmountable amount of evidence he puts forth. So that'll be happening this Friday, 12 p.m. Mountain Time. So that means 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, and 11 a.m. Pacific. So we will be live streaming on the BG Cast YouTube channel. So you can check it out there. You can throw out some lines in the chat, ask any questions you might want to ask him. We will be taking them accordingly. I'm really looking forward to this. Since I went and met him at his meet and greet back in October, a week or two before Halloween, I was, to see a guy who's only 4 years older than me freaking rocking it, dude, and killing it. And I'm just like, man, what am I doing with my life, dude? So, and, honestly, he's one of the reasons I got this started up again because we were all sitting there talking at the meet and greet. And, I was like, yeah, I saw you trying to get on Rogan's podcast, and I saw you did a video. And then we started talking about it. I'm like, well, I had a podcast. I might revamp it. We'll see what's going on. And he's like, oh, I'll hop on. And I was like, well, shit. And I was like, well, if you build it, they'll fucking come. And here they come. So a couple things I want to talk about. World stage is pretty dull right now. I know we're got an observed holiday, so that's probably what's going on. Because of an observed holiday, I will be with Mr. Joe Probably Stupid tonight. We will be doing an evening show kind of to make up for Saturday. And so we will be touching base on what we can with the world stage and other things on the Great Awakening. There's something I really want to talk about this morning. I think a lot of people, know me by now and know my relationship with, substances, nootropics, and things like that. I mean, shit, I'm drinking the Rishi Lion's Mane Cordyceps coffee right now, and all that stuff. So I'm a huge Cordyceps fan, you guys. I love Cordyceps, and I've noticed that when in conjunction with a catecholamine. Now, what a catecholamine is a lot of them are phenylethylamines, but a catecholamine is stuff like adrenaline, norepinephrine, amphetamines, or anything that acts on your beta and alpha adrenal system would be a catecholamine. Phenylethylamines do the same. I mean, amphetamine is a phenylethylamine, mescaline is a phenylethylamine, MDMA is a phenylethylamine, MDA, all this stuff, shit, even ephedrine is a phenylethylamine, and then the xanthines are caffeine. So the xanthine is just a more complex chemical molecular name for caffeine. So you got 1,3-trimethylxanthine, dimethylxanthine, vice versa, things like that. So I call this the superhuman combo, is combining cordyceps with a catecholamine, phenylethylamine, or a xanthine-like compound. Any kind of... Now, a lot of people don't understand how the xanthines work as opposed to the amphetamines and ephedra. So xanthines actually just blocks adenosine receptors. But stuff like amphetamine, ephedrine actually releases dopamine, serotonin, things like that. I mean, you could definitely get a little bit of a dopamine rush, a little bit of serotonin rush from caffeine. I mean, especially if you have no tolerance to it, you will, 100%. But if you're an everyday coffee drinker, I would recommend maybe trying ephedrine with this. You can still get it. Just go behind the counter at CVS, Walgreens, whatever. They got it in Primatene or Broncaid. They still sell it. It's not illegal. So don't get all crazy. I promise it's not illegal. It's just under the counter. You got to show them the ID. You got to tell them you're using it for asthma and vice versa. So why I call this the superhuman combo is because I've noticed that using cordyceps actually increases your VO2 max. In fact, that's where a lot of the sprinters and the cross-country skiers and on China's Olympic teams were using this, is because it increases your VO2 max. And then, so kind of why I call this the superhuman compound is because, one, all right, you're increasing the amount of oxygen to your brain, your heart, your body, okay? What happens to your body when you get that increased oxygen uptake is you're going to have more good, clean stamina. You're going to have more endurance. You're going to have more of a lot of things. You're just going to feel all around better. You're going to have better health when your VO2 max is higher and your body can uptake more oxygen. You're going to feel better. You're going to rest better. You're going to be feeling pretty good. And then what you have with these, catecholamine, phenylethylamine substances, we'll just use ephedrine as an example. So not only are you having an increase of VO2 max, now you're having ephedrine come in, which is an expectorant. So that clears out your lung passageways. And what that'll do is now you're going to be inhaling more air because your lung passages are open with an increased VO2 max. So what that does is that's going to actually bump your oxygen blood levels up even higher. On top with ephedra, maybe even Adderall. There's even some nootropics too, guys. You can try the racetam compounds I've used before. I think they are could be insanely beneficial to this as well. Who knows? I haven't tried them with the racetams because I'm now on the Adderall, so I don't know. Now, mind you, I know a lot of you are probably like, Steve, well, why are you prescribed things? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing Adderall? I said, well, even though I am on the path of awakening, I honestly, I am at this, okay? In today's world, okay, you're not allowed to be a human being. And sorry, I didn't mean to smack my lips. I'm trying to keep that to a minimum. Sometimes I get dry mouth out here in Colorado, guys. But so what I mean is that there's the oxymoronic notion in our society that you're allowed to be a human being. We're human. Only if it doesn't have to do with work, business, or money. The minute you're a human being, when it comes to any three of those things, you're not allowed to be. You gotta be a robot. You can never fuck up. You can never make a mistake, and if you do, you lose your job. Same things like that. So, my opinion is this, and I've taken this stance now for a little bit. In a world where you're not allowed to be a human being, and above human being rules and regulations and measures are put on you, use anything and everything you can to your advantage at that point. So I think that kind of gives me a little bit of groundwork from what I'm saying here. But I believe this combo is great, not only for the gym. If you're an entrepreneur looking to get more work done, if you're looking to have more focus during meditation or yoga, if you're looking to have more stamina at work, if you have a physical job that's laborious, I would highly recommend this. I do call this the superhuman combo because sometimes you're just going to catch yourself doing shit that you could never normally do. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are asking, well, do you get to keep that if you stop taking it? And the answer is yes. I have used cordyceps before, and I've kept a lot of the performance gains I've made on it. The number one reason being is because we're dealing with something that deals with oxygen uptake and not hormones. Okay? Usually, oxygen, when you use a compound, like a good example is Lee, the Chinese weightlifter that just got busted for using EPO. Right? EPO is a weird thing for a weightlifter to use because most of the time you would see a cyclist, a cross-country skier, a marathon runner using something like EPO. But what it does is it increases your blood pressure so you can train harder. And if you can train harder, you're going to keep the gains more. And people can keep their gains from EPO as opposed to if they use like testosterone or an anabolic androgenic steroid or something like that. They're not going to keep those gains. They're not. So with cordyceps, you will. With any stimulant, it's good to take time off. Also, I wish I could at this point, but that's one of my things too. Is like I'm hoping my cordyceps can help me cut down on all the other stuff that I'm taking. I'm up so freaking early, you guys. I'm up at like 3 o'clock in the morning every day. So I need that little extra kick. I need that extra little help. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit of a different ball game. Other than that, though, let's get over here. Let's check out what we got going on here. So I pulled up cordyceps for you guys to check this out because I kind of want y'all to see it. And I really, really, really think y'all could benefit from it 100%. So, we got cordyceps. Let's pull it over here. Okay. So, cordyceps is a genus of the Ascomycete fungi. So, actually, this fungi reproduces on bees and ants. So, when they farm it, they use ants, but it can reproduce on many different insects. So, cordyceps are used in traditional Chinese medicine. Of course, on Wikipedia, you have everything that's like by the pharmaceutical company and all the lobbyists of the pharmaceutical company are on fucking Wikipedia. So it's you're never really gonna get 100% of a straight fucking answer out of them when it comes to anything. But I'm honestly I'm a big fan of it, and I recommend y'all to try it as well, dude. I do. I think it is. I think it is time to start using the world in our favor. Other than that, you guys can see the woodburn piece behind me, the sigils. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a breakdown about that too. So I guess I still kind of am a practicing ceremonial magician. I mostly have gotten kind of rekindled back with my Eastern type of path, the meditation, the yoga, the qigong, things like that. But there are still aspects of the Western path and ceremonial magic that I truly enjoy. So maybe one day what I could do for you guys is a sigil making class and show you how to make your own. I think that would, if you guys are interested in that. I've seen the power of them work before, and I've seen them work in many instances, and as I've gotten better in making them over time, they seem to have a little bit more power. So, well, y'all, this is it for the morning show, except, you know what, let's take 1 minute and just look at something real quick. I'm just going to be kind of curious when it comes to this real fast. We haven't even really heard anything too much about Andrew Tate, what happened with him. I know a lot of people are really, really getting like hardcore on picking sides with Tate here, man. I don't know why. And this is where I'm just going to even say, I know there's probably some of the females in the spiritual community who have issues with this man based on just hearing what was said at face value to them. So let's take a look here. We don't really have anything, man. I'm telling you, things are a little bit. They're waiting. The Invisible College, I'm convinced at this point in time, is waiting at least for the new year to start before it starts dropping some bombs. But one thing I talked with Natalie on the podcast about was how I do think there's going to be an event this year. It's going to be kind of an unveiling of sorts. Not a major rug pull event, I would call it. Not a massive rug pulling event. I think they're saving that for last. But I think there's going to be a slip up that cannot be denied. Or it's going to have people paying a little bit more attention than they used to. And there's a couple people who disagree with me about things. I think we're winning right now, personally. I think that there's the disguise that we're losing, but we're winning. I wholeheartedly believe that because you look at everything going on. I mean, basically the symbolism of everything going on right now. Where the symbolism is the emperor wears no clothes, and the monster isn't scary when we start joking. Isn't a monster anymore when we start joking about him, is he? So those are really, look at everything that's happened. The loss in loss in faith and trust of the American system, global establishments, loss in faith of the internet, people on the internet. Look at the whole Liver King situation. That's why I paid attention to that, you guys. Like a lot of I'd call some people spiritual elitists. I can be one at times, but there's a lot of spiritual elitists who are like, oh, I don't pay attention to that, blah blah blah. I don't, whatever, dude. But looking at the whole Liver King scenario, that was just show that your idols are false. That was the symbolism behind that one. This is why you don't idolize people. That was to me the biggest answer for that. And then the fall of Hollywood, the fall of TV and Amazon with the woke agenda and the constant political correctness that they're trying to spread, and it's damaged them to a point where there's been a lot of things that have happened over this year in 2022, and I think now we're gearing up, as Natalie talked about in our podcast. Hopefully I can find it today. It just really sucks, but Pluto is going to be anchoring itself in Aquarius next year. And we all know what that means. The age of Aquarius is going to for real be here. And then a lot of the children who are going to be born this year are going to be the next revolutionaries, from what I believe. So, guys, that's it for the Monday morning show. I will be back this evening with Mr. Joe Price-Stupa on the Syrup Tap channel. We'll be getting into some stuff. We're actually going to talk. He went and got some Dolores Cannon style hypnotherapy over the weekend. So we might listen to some of that, and we might touch base on that. But there's also a few other things we're going to touch base on. So until next time, you guys, enjoy your morning. Drink your coffee. Have a great day. See you in a bit.